Happy birthday, Dave. I miss you every day, right? I'm so lucky to have you as my best friend, mate. You were the absolute, right? And you were so clever. You've made sure you're never going to grow old. You're always going to look fucking beautiful. That's the only way we can remember you is looking beautiful, right? And you would have been so happy Saturday, Dave. I think you was there anyway, right? But we had a top day at the Beggar on Saturday, right? A massive thanks to Ellen and Dave for hosting us. Well done to Ray Grews for the music. Gary Driscoll was a star as always. And we had the joy of Adrian throwing in a few jokes as well. So it was a good day all round. And to round it off, Susie Cakes turned up with a beautiful knuckle duster cake, which I've ate most of. Yeah, but it was just a wicked day to have everyone together. Chris Lambriano, a pleasure to see you. Thank you for coming. All the people that was there Saturday, well done. For those who couldn't make it, thank you for getting in touch and letting us know. We will keep Dave's memory alive, no matter what, right? He is too special, too powerful and too beautiful to forget, all right? I love you, Dave. And wherever you are today, just raise a glass to Dave for his birthday and wish him well. Thank you.
First of all, thank you all for turning up today. Like, this is just so Dave, isn't it? All his faces, posters are here. It's about him more than anything, because he keeps us, even now, he's going to keep us all together. All right, so, is anyone missing Dave?
Yes!
All right, is anyone sad that he's not here?
Yes! Yes.
Right, well, don't be sad. Remember what he said, don't be sad. Dave had an action-packed life. He lived it to the full, and he chose everything that he wanted to do in life. And he didn't want you to be sad. He wants you to celebrate and remember him and never forget him. So I don't want to hear anyone saying I'm sad. If you was lucky enough to meet him, you've all got a story that you know about Dave. And not one of them stories will be sad. Every one of you have got a story that makes you laugh about Dave. So hang on to that. That is the most important thing for his memory, that we all laugh, keep smiling and remembering what a strong, powerful, beautiful man he really was. All right, so I'm now going to just pass me up that, please, babe, because when I come here the other day and spoke to Dave, we were talking about some of the holidays we went on, and this photo here, which is now a legendary photo, this was actually taken in Tenerife. All right, and the story behind this photo is, after Dave done the first craze funeral, he decided that we were going to Tenerife, and it started off with 4 or 5 of us. Dave was going to go out to Tenerife with 4 or 5 friends, and the guy out there called Dukey, he said, Dave, I'll sort out your apartments. Wayne Lineker said, come to my bar, Dave, and I'll look after you, won't have to pay for a drink or nothing. So by the time we were going to Tenerife, Dave had 150 mates who want to go with him now. So the poor geezer that's sorting out the apartments is now shitting himself because he thought, well, I said I'll pay for them all. So, you know, he's now realised he's got about 150 apartments to pay for, but he didn't because most of the boys paid. But when we first went out there was like everyone on different flights, different days. So I went out there with the beautiful Tess, Dave's mum, who's also like my mum, right? And I went out there with her and a man called Nick Reynolds and another guy called Toby Von Judge, who, if you don't know Toby, he's a cross between Steptoe and Jimmy Savile, really.
That's very
but, so the very first night we were in Tenerife with Dave's mum, this guy took us out for something to eat, and Tessa's got food poisoning, so she's ended up in hospital. And the following day, Dave's got the message that mum's in hospital, she's not well, but there's a photo of me in bed with Tess in the hospital. So we were just making a laugh, but Dave immediately rang me and went, what the f*** are you doing in bed with my mum? But the whole holiday went on for 10 days, right? So every single day there was something happened on that holiday. I can recall the first night we were all together in this bar at Lineker's. There was like, you've got to remember, there's 150 proper tasty geezers there now. And there's 4 brothers called the Clarks, right? and it's Lance, Elliot, Manny and George, and they had a mum who's called Pauline, who was a beautiful lady, and also someone that could have a fight as well. The 4 boys would fucking kill you, but the mum would knock you out as well, right? So she's in the in Lineker's bar, and she was in her early 50s, I'd say, at the time, and she's a beautiful lady. And one of these guys bumped into her, some youngster who'd probably had a bit of Charlie in there, was a bit leery. He's bumped into her, knocked a drink on her, and she said, well, excuse me, and he looked at her and he went, what are you talking about, love? You look like you're a bit old to be here. Yeah, so he was just a young, silly, cokehead, drinking geezer, right? Well, she'd done all martial arts, and all we heard was some of them hi-ya noises, yeah? And then she's got this geezer on the floor, right? But by the time the 4 boys have looked round, who were all like 6 foot and about 15, 16 stone, and were proper good doormen, you know, like, they've seen that their mum's having an altercation. So as the geezer's sort of coming round from being smashed by the mum, the 4 boys had come over and smashed the granny out of him, thrown him out, and then went, Mum, you've got to stop kicking off on holiday. But we had another day when the Scousers, there was a load of Scouse lads come there, and they booked into an hotel, and they obviously got on it, and they've had a good night, they're partying all night, and in the morning Dave's got a phone call from one of them that a couple of them are in the police station. Can you go and sort it out, Dave? You know, like, please help us out. So by the time we've got down to Nick, the 2 Scousers have been now sort of let out, and one of them, Dave's going, what's fucking happened? What have you done? And he went, it's not really my fault, Dave. He said, I was in the right room and the right floor, but the wrong hotel. And he said, I thought this bloke was in my hotel room with a bird, so I'll kick the door in and beat him up. But he was in the wrong hotel, so, you know, we did actually smooth it over. There was every single day, us walking down the front, 150-handed, weren't no one asking if you wanted a timeshare. Right? After the bars closed, when they see Dave and all the boys turning up, and Wayne Lineker, he'd actually said, Dave, I'll sort all your lot out free drink. So, after the first night, when everyone's in there and all going, yeah, we're with Dave, the manager come over because he knew I was with Dave and sort of like helped him with things, and he went to me, how long are you here for? And I went, 10 days. But in fairness to Wayne, he actually like honoured that, and he probably kept 50 or 60 of the boys in drink. Do you know what I mean? And there was another little story, like, it's a bit naughty, right? The young kid who come in there selling the drugs, there's always a little drug dealer in them bars, right? So the first night he's come in there, and I said to him, oh, you got any gear? And he's gone, yeah. How much do you want? He went, I've got 70 wraps. And the geezer went, give us it then. So he gave him the 70 wraps, and he went, fuck off now then. But what was he going to do? This poor little geezer can't do nothing. There's like 150 geezers there. So this has gone on like a second night. So Dave gets the phone call from the bloke who's in charge of the operation. And he went, look, Dave, can you come and see me? He went, it's a bit embarrassing. He said, my fellas are coming home, they got fuck all, and they've just said they don't want to argue with any of your lot. So this is the best I'm going to do, because it will be trouble, we will end up having arguments. He went, I'm going to give your boys 1 ounce of gear every day, all right? But he said, when that runs out, I don't expect anyone to mug any of my people. And he said, so if you make sure they pay for it out of that, I'll honour that. Which I thought was fucking honourable for the man. He didn't have to do that, but because of his respect for Dave, and he got on well with Dave, he had a lot of time with Dave, he just thought, it's easier, just give him a bit. And then, like, Dave put manners on everyone, and they weren't a bit of trouble after that, whatsoever. And towards the end of the Tenerife, there's some other stories, but there's ladies here, I better not mention them. But at the end of the holiday in Tenerife, what you don't realise, I forgot to tell you really, was a lot of these people had come from Liverpool, Manchester, Birmingham, Newcastle, and they were all players in the game at the time, right? So in that photo that you see, there's a load of people who couldn't be in that photo. right? So they were still active, if you like. But on the plane, you had all these, let's say, gangster type geezers, but then you had the authorities on the other side of the plane following them. So it looked ridiculous because they all stood out because they were following him. And David had a brainwave at the time. He went on the way home, he went, I want everyone to shave their head. So as everyone looks like Dave Courtney getting on the plane. So I've watched everyone getting their head shaved, and as the holidays, I kept thinking, he won't make me do it. He won't make me do it. And then on the last day, he went, well, you've got to fucking shave your head, haven't you? And there is a video somewhere of Dave, actually, there is a video of Dave shaving my head, right? But for me, the worst thing about that was, all right, my head was a bit scabby, right? But it looked like I had a bowl of flour on my head. Because the whole holiday, I'd got red and looked like a bit of boiled bacon. But when he shaved my head, I've looked like, I'm just like a white hat. But the whole holiday over there was funny and exciting. There was a load of different characters, people that you would never imagine would come together. But Dave could bring them all together. His character, and the fact that he could be so diverse and he had so much time for different people, he could bring everyone together. And I mean, I'm not going to keep you too long, but the other story I want to tell concerns the gentleman in the corner there, Dave, who has brought us here today. And me, him and Dave and about 4 other geezers went off to New York in about 2006, right? Dave was promoting his books and that over there. And in all the years that I knew Dave, it was the only time I've ever seen him get beat up. I've never ever seen him get beat up until we went to America. Right? And the reason he got beat up was he got really drunk. Right? We were in a titty bar and we'd been drinking all day. It'd been a St. Patrick's Day parade and we ended up in this bar in downtown Queens, which apparently during the day you wouldn't go there if you was white, really. So we were in the wrong place, if you like. But come the end of the evening, Dave went to me, so he went out, and as he was going out, Poochie thinks he's back in England, he's looked the wrong way across the road. So this big stretch Hummer has pulled up, and you all know Dave, any other time he would have gone, sorry, and just like, you know, it'd have been okay. But he was a bit drunk and the Hummer pulled up, hit the brakes and then blew the horn really loud. Well, you know, he was drunk and he was a bit angry. So he turned around and punched the bonnet. He went, fuck off. So, unfortunately, there was about 8 or 9 6'8" black geezers got out of this stretch Hummer. And he used to say it himself. He went, it was like a big butterfly opening up. But he said, these guys have got out. And they've obviously started giving him a kicking. And Dave, over there, bravely went to steam in and help Dave. But they just picked up a lump of wood in a car park. And as Dave ran over, they hit him over the back of the head. More or less knocked him out. And the other guy who was with Dave, who was meant to be looking after him, who was a big guy, you know, big 6'6" black man who definitely could have a row. They've all got beat up now, and I'm still in the titty bar enjoying myself, you know, trying to bring a bit of romance to the holiday, right? And the dame's come in, he's got like a broken jaw, he's beat up, and he's going, Bren, Dave's getting beat up out there, and I went, yeah, that's not my department, is it? Yeah. I went, look at you. I went, what do you think I'm going to do if you lot got beat up? He went, we'll have to come out there and try and stop it. So, I had a coat in a cloakroom, so I had to get that. But I've gone out, and by the time I got out there, what had saved Dave was everyone had trainers on. Right? And, you know, like, it had stopped, we got it all stopped, and we got in a taxi, but old Dave over there, when the cab driver's gone to him, where do you want to go? He went, Whitechapel. So I've got Dave in the cab with me now, and I'm holding his head, you know, and I'm telling him the address, but Dave's going, no, we don't live there, and I'm having to put my mouth over his mouth because the girl told me, don't let them know where you are in case they follow you, this lot, you know what I mean? So I'm giving them a moody address, And Dave, I'm having to put my hand over his mouth going, he's had a bang on the head, take the notice, take the notice. And so we got safely back to the hotel, and the next day we had a meeting with a couple of groups of people, and a couple of these people were actually representatives of the Gambino family. Alright, so they've turned up at our hotel looking to see Dave, and he'd said to me, "Oh, I don't want to see him in a minute, I'm a bit fucking bruised." He went, "So like, maybe give me half an hour and that." So the two boys are in our hotel room now. Their hotel adjoins, it's got a door that goes into the room next door, and Dave over there was in the room next door with Dave, right? And because they are both funny, twisted, right? I've set these two big, massive Italian geezers. He went, "We gotta see Mr. Courtney." I said, "Well, he's a bit busy at the minute." "Hey man, we come to see him, we've got to see him." I went, "All right." So I've opened the door. To my shock, both Daves were naked. Dave had a rat trap on his and our Dave had a pair of sunglasses on his. And I had to go, "Dave, these are the gentlemen from the..." And they both looked at me and went, "That's Dave Courtney?" I went, "That's Dave Courtney." And they got on after that, they looked after us. We ended off going down to LA, wasn't it, Dave? And then straight into Vegas. Dave got talking to the driver down there, and we asked him where he was. He went, "Kansas, I come from Kansas." Dave went, "That's where Dorothy comes from." So, I didn't know who Dorothy was at the time until he pointed it out. I thought, does he know Dorothy over here then? We had a wicked holiday, and anyone who's been on holiday with Dave, you did have a unique time. No matter what it was, where you went, what you done, you had a terrific time with him. He was so much larger than life, and I can't ever be Dave or even try to be him, because he's 1,000 times ahead of me, right? He was such a beautiful paraman. He was a genuine force of nature. And I believe, from my heart, standing in front of you today, that Dave left here knowing there was a better place. I believe that the last act of his life was a leap of faith for him to say, "I'm leaving this world as a humble servant. I've made sure I've put everything right that I could." And I do believe that he knew there was a paradise. Right? And I believe that he is there, enjoying it, waiting for us. If we're lucky enough to meet him again, he'll be there. Alright, so for me, Dave, you'll never ever be forgot, and as long as people want to come and get together and enjoy talking about him, I'll keep doing this. And I think it brings us all together. It's something special. No one else can do it. Only his spirit and his memory can do that. Alright, so please, let's carry on. Let's enjoy these events. Let's make them bigger. And never ever forget what a superstar he was. Thank you all so much. And listen, we're gonna finish off now with an auction. We've got a few bits of stuff here, a couple of bits from the house, and there's a couple of items I've got made specially that you can't get anywhere else, and they're the only ones we've had done.